Time to pull up a chair. We've got another great story for you today in the rLounge. Nothing quite beats the feeling of sitting with your coffee in the morning, casually watching a burning bridge in the distance that you knew was bound to go up in flames. Today in the rLounge, it's a well-deserved "I told you so." My stepdaughter treated me like garbage for 15 years, then came crawling for my connections, so I torched her lies and watched karma feast. I, 56 female, just had the most nuclear showdown with my stepdaughter, Emma, 32 female, and it's ripped my family apart in ways I didn't expect. But I'm not sorry. After 15 years of her treating me like dirt under her designer boots, she had the gall to slink back into my life begging for my professional connections. I said no, exposed her for the manipulative liar she is, and now she's reaping the whirlwind. Here's the tea. Background. The war started day one. I met my husband James, 58 male, 15 years ago when Emma was a snotty 17-year-old with a chip on her shoulder, the size of Texas. I was a widow. My first husband died in a car wreck when my boys, Tyler, now 30 male, and Lucas, 28 male, were 10 and 8. It gutted me, but I rebuilt my life and eventually fell for James. He was divorced, his ex Vanessa ditched him, and Emma for some dude across the country when Emma was 12, leaving James to solo parent a kid already drowning in abandonment issues. I get it, trauma's a witch, but that's no excuse for what Emma turned into. From the second I walked into her life, Emma made it her mission to remind me I was an intruder. I tried. I swear I did. Cooked her favorite lasagna, asked about her dumb teenage poetry, gave her space when she glared at me like I was a roach. Nothing worked. She'd smirk and leave the room when I spoke, or mutter snide little jabs like, "Dad's only with her 'cause she's desperate," loud enough for me to hear. James would shrug it off. "She's just a kid, she'll warm up." Spoiler, she didn't. We tied the knot when Emma was 19, off to college. Our wedding? She didn't just boycott it. She stood in the corner, crap-talking me to anyone who'd listen, saying I was a gold digger, leeching off her dad. James tried to play peacemaker, but Emma would turn on the waterworks, whining that he was abandoning her for me. I told him to keep seeing her, even if it meant I got sidelined. I wasn't about to be the wicked stepmom stereotype. But Emma didn't stop. She got worse. At her college grad party, which I threw, she thanked every guest but me. Then I caught her snickering to her cousin. "She's so pathetic, pretending she's my mom. Dad only married her 'cause he couldn't do better." My voice stood up for me, and she snapped. "They're just mad they don't have a real dad anymore." That stung, but I let it slide. James said she was still hurting from Vanessa. Fine, whatever. Holidays were a circus. Emma would only show up if I made myself invisible, literally. I spent multiple Christmases at my sister's, so she'd grace James with her presence. He'd mope about it, torn between the bratty kid and me, but I sucked it up. She was an adult by then, mid-20s, and still acting like a spoiled toddler. Trauma doesn't give you a free pass to be a dick forever. The breaking point. Birthday blowout. 5 years ago, James turned 53. I spent all day cooking his favorite roast, invited our closest crew, set up everything. Emma rolled in late with her greasy boyfriend, interrupted the toast, and announced their engagement, like it was her party. I pulled her aside, real calm, and said, "Hey, maybe let your dad have this moment first." She went full banshee. "Why don't you stop pretending you belong here? You're not my mom, and you're nothing to this family." Right in front of everyone, James just stared at his plate while I stood there, humiliated. That was it. I was done. No more playing nice. No more bending over backwards. I told James I was out. Emma could have him to herself. I focused on my marriage and my sons, and if he wanted to keep chasing her approval, that was on him. He'd meet her for lunch or whatever, but I stayed gone. It sucked, but it was better than eating her crap. 3 weeks ago, my phone rang. Emma. First time she's ever called me direct. I nearly dropped it. She's all syrupy sweet, asking to talk. Turns out, she's gunning for a gig at the marketing firm where I spent 20 years climbing the ladder. Retired last year as creative director. It's a cutthroat place, and she wanted me to put in a good word with my old crew. After 15 years of spitting in my face, she needed my clout. I laughed. Couldn't help it. She went, "I know we've had our differences, but family helps family, right?" I hit her with receipts. "You spent a decade screaming I'm not family. You don't get to flip the switch now." She doubled down. "That was emotional stuff. This is business. I thought you'd be mature enough to see the difference." Mature? Mature? This chick had some nerve. I told her I'd think about it and hung up. James was a mess, caught between his precious princess and the wife he'd let her trash for years. I didn't care. I called her back the next day and dropped the hammer. "I'm not tanking your app, but I'm not vouching for you either. You've got no respect, no integrity. Why would I stake my name on that?" She lost it. Screamed I was a spiteful hag, threatened to cut James off if I didn't cave. That's when I snapped. Emma, I said ice cold, this tantrum right here, this is why I can't back you. No one's going to trust a hothead who can't handle no. Good luck. She slammed the phone down. Next day, she's on X and Facebook blasting me as a jealous stepmom sabotaging her dreams, turning James against her. Family started calling, all, what's going on? I didn't owe them crap. She clearly has a habit of disrespecting you and expecting things to magically change when it suits her. Classic case of someone wanting to flip the family switch when it benefits them, without putting in the work and offering any respect in return. Your decision to stand your ground was probably the only thing you could do at this point, OP. She can't just come back after all this time and expect a favor after treating you like an outsider for so long. Update 1. Holy hell, y'all. Thanks for the support on my last post. Craps hit the fan harder than I expected. Emma went full scorched earth after I said no. Flooded socials with sob stories. My stepmom's ruining my career out of jealousy. She's tearing me and Dad apart. She even DM'd mutuals, painting me as the villain. Problem is, she didn't count on her public tantrum being a billboard for my old firm. Diane, my mentor and a senior partner there, saw it all through a friend's retweet. She called me, worried. I hadn't said squat to Diane about Emma's ask. Didn't want to poison the well. But she pressed, so I spilled. Emma's my stepdaughter. She's been a nightmare, and she's begged for a recommendation I wouldn't give. Then Diane dropped a bomb. Emma had already interviewed and lied her butt off. Told them I'd mentored her for years, that we had this tight bond, even made up projects we collaborated on. Total fiction. I was floored. She didn't just want my help. She'd built her whole pitch on a fake fairy tale about me. Diane said the team liked her portfolio but flagged her stories as sketchy. Now her online meltdown was the cherry on top. I showed James everything. Her posts, Diane's call. For once, he couldn't excuse it. His little girl had crossed into straight-up fraud. He called her over for a family talk. She showed up pissed, arms crossed. James laid out the evidence. Calm, no yelling. Emma flipped like a switch. Tears, excuses. I only lied because I was desperate. I thought she'd be like me using her name. I called BS. You've mocked my career for years. Don't play proud now. She snapped. You're just keeping score, you petty witch. James finally grew a spine. If you respected her work, why treat her like trash at home? Dead silence. She tried one last dodge. I didn't want her replacing Mom, but I can still use her skills. There it was. The mask off. She saw me as a tool, not a person. James told her to get therapy for her manipulative streak. She stormed out, snarling at me. Happy now? You've got Dad all to yourself. Door slammed. Radio silence since. Word from Diane? Emma's toast at the firm. Lying about connections is a death sentence there. Integrity's their whole deal. She's not getting that job, and I didn't lift a finger to make it happen. She did this to herself. I'm pissed she dragged my name into her mess, but dang if it doesn't feel good watching her crash. James is rattled, finally seeing the monster he enabled. My boys are team Mom all the way. Tyler said, you gave her every chance. She doesn't get to cry now. I'm not celebrating, but I'm not crying either. She effed around, and she's finding out. Update 2. 6 months since the last update, and Emma's life a total dumpster fire. She lit the match herself, and I'm just watching the smoke from afar. She went silent after her blowout. No calls, no texts, nothing on socials about us. James tried checking in a few times, got leave me alone back, and gave up. Good riddance. No more bracing for her drama. We hit couples therapy a couple months into it, scrape her mess off our marriage. James admitted he'd let her trash me for years to keep the peace, and he's done with it. We're solid now. No more playing her game. Haven't heard from Emma direct, and I'd block her if she tried. But the grapevine's delivering gold. Diane, my old firm mentor, called last week. Emma's career is toast. After lying about me, she pulled the same crap at another big marketing shop, faking a tie to some exec. Guy called her out at a conference, and now she's blacklisted. Diane says she's handing out flyers for some sketchy outfit. Minimum wage, zero clout. Her marketing star fantasy? Dead. The real chaos hit at Tyler's engagement party 3 weeks ago. My oldest proposed to Mia, his lawyer fiancé, and we threw a backyard bash. 50 people, barbecue, drinks, good vibes. Emma wasn't invited. Haven't seen her in months, and she's earned zilch from us. Tyler's mid-toast, thanking everyone, when Emma barges in. Sequin dress, some scruffy dude in tow. Claps loud, cuts him off and yells, Hey, we're engaged too. Flashes a ring like she's the main event. Same move she pulled at James's 53rd birthday. hijacking the night. Room goes quiet. Tyler's pissed. James freezes. I'm just staring, half a glass of wine in hand. She's got balls, I'll give her that. Her guy's grinning, clueless. She's waiting for claps. Nope. Diane's there, whispers to me. That's the dude she pitched as her business partner. Total BS. My sister's by the bar, texting a friend for dirt. Lucas mutters, didn't her last engagement tank? A cousin snickers. Emma's still posing, but people start whispering. Phone's out. Mia's brother pulls up that viral bar meltdown video. 200,000 views of Emma losing it and says, this her? Shows it around. Guests laugh. Her fiance, Chad let's say, asks, what's that? Diane drops. She lied about me mentoring her, killed her career, went nuts online. Chad's mad now. Cousin adds, she was begging for a couch to crash on last month. Emma snaps, that's old news. Chad's scrolling her empty LinkedIn, fuming. You said you were a big deal. What's this? She stammers. It's fine, babe. He rips the ring off her, tosses it, and says, we're done. You're a liar. Bolts out the door. Emma yells, you're all jealous. James stands, ice cold. Get out. Now. She storms off, crying, tripping over her dress. Party's buzzing, half shocked, half cracking up. Next day, sister hears from a guest. Chad's gone for good, telling everyone she's a fraud. Diane says industry folks at the party nicknamed her Engagement Emma. She's a joke now, stuck at their flyer gig. No fiance, no one bailing her out. James shrugs when he hears, she did this. Tyler's wedding's on. Lucas got a raise. My crew's golden. I smirked over coffee next morning. She tried stealing my son's night and got wrecked. Karma's ruthless. Wow, what a mess. She tried to hijack the party, but it backfired in the best of ways. Karma's doing its thing, though. It's clear she burned all her bridges and ended up the joke of the party. At least James is finally waking up to who she really is, and you and the boys are solid. It's got to feel good seeing her implode after all the nonsense she put you through. Have you ever had to draw a hard line with a family member who constantly crossed boundaries? How did you handle it? And what was the fallout? Let us know in the comments below. And thank you for joining us today in the rLounge. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of our upcoming videos. See you next time. And please put your chair back where you found it.